Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching our channel for the first time, allow me to request you to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. To those who support our channel in one way or the other, I want to say thank you for your unwavering support. Please continue in the same spirit. Pastor Ezekiel Odero is fighting a possibility of his church being deregistered from the Register of Societies. This administration has been frustrating Pastor Ezekiel and has been moving from one court to the other, fighting these frustrations. It started with the news that there were graves at Shakahola in Kilifi, and then before we knew it, the story had changed from Pastor Mackenzie to Ezekiel. And today the person who is being pursued by the police and the DCI is not Mackenzie as such, but the burden is being carried by Pastor Ezekiel Odero. Within a few weeks, the DCI and this administration had moved to freeze all his accounts, claiming that he was not tax compliant. And his ministry was also suspended, and then his TV channel was not left out, was also suspended. And all this happened without any notice. They just moved in very fast and they suspended all this. So Pastor Ezekiel has been moving from one court to the other, trying to make his prayers to the courts of justice, because I have realized that the only saving grace, the only hope that we have in Kenya today are our courts. When this administration wanted to force GMO on Kenyans, it is the courts that suspended that move. Every now and then, when they frustrate citizens, we move to court, and that is the reason why we pray that we keep on strengthening our courts, because they are our last hope. So in a recent move through his lead lawyer Danstan Umari, Pastor Ezekiel moved to court, and the court ordered that his accounts be unfrozen, because after scrutiny they realized that there was no any account under his name. Most of the accounts were registered under the institutions that he has. It is either the church or the schools that he operates. And the KRA had also confirmed that Pastor Ezekiel is tax compliant. The courts also ordered that his channels, the TV channel and his ministry, the church, be allowed to start operating, because Pastor Ezekiel is ministering to many. In fact, it is an international channel and it operates 24 hours. It seems that the DCI is tired of this back and forth court battles, because their main intention was to finish and annihilate Pastor Ezekiel completely from the prayer center. So in this latest move through the Registrar of Societies, they have given Pastor Ezekiel a 21-day notice show cause letter, asking him why his church should not be deregistered completely, and they are citing failure to pay annual dues, and they are claiming that Pastor Ezekiel has not done this for over 10 years. This is what is reported, that Pastor Ezekiel is in court to stop deregistration of New Life Church. And it goes on to say that Pastor Ezekiel Odero of New Life Church now wants the courts to stop the Registrar of Societies from cancelling the registration of his church. In an application, his lawyers Danstan Omari and Cliff Ombeta, Odero expressed concerns that the Registrar of Societies has threatened to cancel the registration of his church, a move that is meant to deny him and his congregation the freedom of religion. And I'm quoting verbatim what the lawyer said, and the lawyer is saying that the Registrar of Societies, in a well-orchestrated and malevolent scheme to have the church registration cancelled, drafted a letter dated 27th April. Take note of that, 27th April, issuing a 21-day notice to the applicant to show cause why his church registration should not be cancelled for failure to file its annual returns. The letter was served on the applicant on 25th May 2023. 8 days after the expiry of the intended 21-day notice to the applicant, reads the court papers. So the lawyer is claiming there that they did this letter on 27th. And if they meant well, they should have served Pastor Ezekiel with this letter so that he can prepare himself. But they gave a 21-day notice. Guess what? The letter reached Pastor Ezekiel 8 days after the 21 days had expired. And this will tell you that there's a certain ill motive. They have an agenda that maybe Pastor Ezekiel does not know. Number one, the lawyers are saying that the letter itself should have come in time. And in view of the fact that it reached them 8 days after the elapse of 21 days, it means that this is illegal, and even this should be stopped by the courts. This administration cannot convince anybody that the orchestrated onslaught against the New Life Church and Pastor Ezekiel is not political, because it is happening, I think, some few weeks after Pastor Ezekiel met the Azimio leader Raila Odinga. And many view this as a frustration, so that either Pastor Ezekiel can now switch and work with them, because we have seen this administration frustrating people, so that you are either annihilated completely or you switch, come and start working with them. This is one motive that experts believe that they want Pastor Ezekiel. And it's also happening after Ezekiel gave a prophecy, a very disturbing prophecy. Ezekiel had once said that this administration will come down if William Ruto will not implement all the pre-election pledges that they gave to Kenyans. And maybe this is also disturbing them. But I want to submit to you that it does not need any rocket science. That if any administration comes to power after promising several things that he will do to its citizens, and it fails to comply, then the citizens will rebel. The other day, you saw the civil servants unions going to the streets without being called upon by any politician, without listening to anyone. They just sat down and realized that this administration should be stopped on its tracks. And so I don't think that the prophecy of Pastor Ezekiel should really worry them. They should only sit back, stop politicking, and implement all the pledges that they gave to Kenyans. But one thing that disturbs me is the fact that Pastor Ezekiel is one person who has employed thousands of people. He really supports thousands of students. If you look at the institution that is currently under construction, you will know that this is a man with ambition. Dunstan Omari is saying there that if you close or you deregister that church, you will really render several people jobless. You know that right now the rate of unemployment is really high. We've got youths who do not have jobs, they don't know where to turn to. And Pastor Ezekiel is like an investor. He's like a private sector employing several people. Under normal, it is a common practice that any government will always try to embrace investors, because it helps him, or it helps that government alleviate the burden of unemployment. If you look at the situation where we are in, the cost of living is just too high. And the government is moving with speed to frustrate an already overburdened citizens. This is why they want to impose taxes. They want to tax every little money that you have. They have gone to every pocket. Even those who felt that they were far away from the government trap, they've been cornered now. In fact, in the finance bill and in the budget that is about Ruto's maiden budget that will be read in the next few days, every person, including Mama Mboga, will be taxed. And this move is also frustrating investors because they are watching how this administration is handling this matter. They are claiming that Pastor Ezekiel is not tax compliant. I don't want to speak for him, but I have a feeling that if an investor, someone who is holding assets worth millions of shillings, if such a person fails to render his taxes or file his taxes, from where I sit, if you ask me, there should be a window period where you sit down with the KRA and you discuss how you will be paying this, because that is a better way than trying to collapse all his accounts, trying to collapse all his investments, because when you do that, you may think that you are dealing with him, but the blow will be felt by the people who have been employed, the young men and women who are earning a living from the construction sites, from the schools that he has built, even the students that is supporting, because it's on record that Pastor Ezekiel is supporting many of students in different institutions. And I think the government should reconsider her stand not to collapse Pastor Ezekiel's pieces of property. Even if it is politically motivated, they should look at the bigger picture. Just one prophecy cannot make the government start pursuing in bad faith Pastor Ezekiel. And so we believe that the courts will stand tall to be counted, and they will really prevent this orchestrated move to frustrate. I want to finish by saying this. The silence of the clergy and all the evangelist pastors is really worrying. I thought that this is the time that they will rally together in unity and condemn the government, because you all know, ukiona mwenzako ananyolewa hata achako tia maji, you do not know what will happen next. Once they are done with Ezekiel, you don't know who they will go to. So this is the time that the church must come and unite and condemn this move, so that the independence of our churches remains paramount. I don't know what to think, ladies and gentlemen, but this is my take.